The first Idaho Falls project was built entirely during COVID, right? But from the day we put it in contract to the point where it was 100% leased, we took only 2 years and 9 months. 3 months were lost because of supply chain issues, and we still did it under 3 years. Now, this was built as a townhome buyer project rather than a syndication project. So for an apples to apples comparison, we actually reworked the numbers from a syndication perspective, and here are the profit numbers for the first project. As you can see, we did phenomenally well. Our bank loved how hard we worked on this project, and their comment was that our project was the only one in Idaho Falls that was built on time, on budget during COVID. Why? Because we have an incredible team in Idaho Falls that works on these projects. Our construction project manager, who works on all of our development projects across the US, who happens to live in Idaho Falls, 10 minutes away from the property. And that is an incredible blessing when it comes to getting the right product. Now, in case you're wondering, the Idaho Falls community, it isn't our only completed townhome project. We've also built more upscale townhomes like this 46-unit community in Raleigh-Durham. Looks really beautiful, right? But ironically, what we learned from building this project was that it financially makes sense to build smaller. And so now we tend to build with a significantly smaller budget than this. And here's another high-end project that we built in Houston near the Texas Medical Center. Once again, what we learned is that our target audience wanted something more straightforward and simpler. We took that knowledge and we used it to build the first Idaho Falls project. We've tried a lot of templates, folks, and we know that the Idaho Falls template is the best, it's the quickest, and it's the most profitable. We're also taking a lot of experience from building apartments and also some student housing here on the right and some flex industrial projects. So along the way, we've picked up extremely valuable team members who are true experts at pre-development and construction. Here's your first quick look at the Equinox on Lincoln project. Remember, I mentioned that we regretted having all 3-bedroom units at Equinox, the first project that we had in Idaho Falls. That's because half of our incoming phone calls were from tenants who wanted 2 bedrooms instead of 3. But they did want the privacy. They wanted the security that comes with a townhome that you don't get with an apartment. So this project has both 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom townhomes, and there are 2 different kinds of each. So now that we've given you a quick initial taste of our Idaho Falls projects, we do want to back up and talk about why there's such a growing need for townhomes in the United States. In short, over the last 4 years, COVID utterly destroyed the American dream of homeownership. And I want to draw your attention to this graph on the right. That green line is the median rent down here. And you can see that in 2023, the median rents were around $1,800 in the United States. Now, I want you to look at the orange line, which is the average home payment. And as you can see in 2023, there was a huge gap of almost $1,300 between the monthly average rent and the average mortgage. If you look carefully, you'll notice, going back, this gap is much larger than it was in the last 12 years. In fact, this is the largest gap in affordability in US history. So keep that in mind. And now let's talk about the impact that that gap has had. On the right, you can see that in 2013, right here, 50% of all home listings were affordable on a median income. So not perfect, but not bad. Now let's take a look at 2020. Well, that number was at 45% on the day before COVID. Now let's look at the last 4 years. And this is going to blow your mind. That number is now down to 16%. So only 1 in 6 home listings are affordable on a median income. Millions of families that would have been able to afford a starter home before COVID are now forever renters. And this is especially true for families that are earning $60K to $85K a year. Their choices are extremely limited. But these families, they have kids, they have dogs, they don't want to live in apartments. They need solutions. And we are providing a true alternative, but at rents that they can actually afford. So what's this alternative to apartments? Well, it's built to rent, or BTR. Recently, builders around the US, they've started building new single family or townhome product, but it's designed from scratch for rental. These are not apartments. Tenants have their own front yard, backyard, a garage, more windows, more light, no other tenants above them or below them. So when COVID happened, this build to rent BTR market, it exploded. Every tenant now wants less density, more space. They want light and bedrooms and backyards. And so build to townhome projects are renting fast, and their rents are rising even faster. Now, these have scaled property management. They have centralized maintenance. So BTR has naturally become the hottest and fastest growing segment in all of real estate. Build-to-rent tenants, they stay longer, they pay more, and they default less than any other segment in real estate. And new construction means no surprises, no big maintenance bills for at least a decade. Berkadia are providing 2023 data that demand for BTR continues to skyrocket despite the current economic headwinds. Average rents are now over $2,000 a year. Average occupancy, amazingly high, 96%. This is a fantastic market to get into, folks.